All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Those Were the Days. Now, the last episode was actually the season finale of the last season because I accidentally got confused and put out the first episode of this season. So, yeah. I screwed up, my bad. That happens sometimes when you're trying to get things done. You put things out when they're not supposed to be. I watched the full episode of the one where they argue a lot, which was the last episode of the season, and then I watched the Heatwave episode, and I got confused on which one I actually watched while editing, and I put out the wrong one. But hey, that happens sometimes. So, also today we are not watching the complete video. If you want to watch the complete episodes, you can go to either Amazon on Amazon Prime. I think Amazon.com regular has it as well. And you can also do Freevee because Amazon now owns Freevee. You can watch the complete series on there. There's also a link down in the description below where you can get the box set, and yes, that does help out the channel. I get a little bit of a kickback on any of the box sets that are bought. So if you go through that link and you buy something, it helps out the channel. There's also a Ko-Fi link down there. That's basically a digital tip jar. If you guys want to make a donation to the channel and help out financially, that is most appreciated. Now, this episode, I'm kind of changing up a little bit. I already did a review on it, and I was just like, this doesn't feel right. I was going to do kind of a me talking more about the episode review while watching it, and it just didn't feel right. So I'm going to try a Channel Awesome technique. Now, if you guys don't know Channel Awesome, it's a movie review slash sometimes TV, sometimes commercial channel. And what they do is they will talk about the episode and throw in clips of what they're talking about. So instead of watching the episode, I will tell you guys about the episode and we will see clips about the stuff that I am talking about. So hopefully that is something that you guys are interested in. If not, well, we will find out. So if you guys do like this new format, go ahead and give this video a little like button. If you guys really want to see more, there is a button at the end of the video that will get you to the playlist from the very beginning of when I started doing All in the Family and Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is also because of the last Airbender episode. Someone said I kind of just reacted to the big thing and didn't really talk about it, and I will be doing a video on specifically that big moment in Avatar: The Last Airbender as well, because yeah, I understand it wasn't like a big thing, but I also understand that it's really hard to keep up with this. So if it and I don't want it to seem disingenuous, like haha, hee hee, ho ho, and just have clips of that and then talk about it at the end. I want this to be as genuine as possible, and this is how I think we're going to get there. So with that being said, let's jump in. Here we go. Those were the days. So right at the beginning of the episode, we start off with the bunkers having breakfast, or maybe lunch. I'm not sure which one it is. It seems like it's pretty early, and we do usually have breakfast. So they're listening to the radio while they're doing so, and we hear some chatter about Nixon.
The meeting was held in President Nixon's office in the Executive Office building adjacent to the White House.
And so Michael, as Archie's coming down the stairs, makes a crack about King Richard.
And you, meathead, turn off the garbage on that radio.
And thought you'd be interested in hearing what King Richard was up to today.
Obviously causing a bit of a fight.
And shut that hole in the middle of your face, too, huh?
And then Lionel shows up, and we get to the meat of the story here.
I'd interrupt your lecture on anthropology.
There is going to be some kind of big party because his uncle is leaving.
I bet your Uncle Henry's pretty excited, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So we know his uncle pretty well. He always comes in and cracks jokes at the expense of mostly Archie. and it's pretty funny to see him, interact with Archie and Archie interact with him. He's typically not on the racist side, but sometimes he is, just like Archie, so fair game, if you ask me. So moving on from that, we go into this party, this going away party that's going to happen, and we're talking about why he's leaving.
Hey, Lionel, where's your Uncle Henry moving to?
Oh, he's opening a cleaning store up in Dutchess County.
Blah, blah, blah. Apparently he has a cleaning company that he's going to be starting or working with, and everything is kind of moving him out of town. Probably not too far, because it doesn't sound like he's leaving too far, but he is leaving nonetheless. And so we're trying to figure out what's going on, and of course, Archie doesn't want to go.
Oh, no, I ain't setting foot in no house where the head of that house don't want to set foot in this house.
Because he doesn't like, he doesn't like the family, he just doesn't like the man of the house, who is George Jefferson. So, he basically is refusing to go. Edith goes to the kitchen, and Mrs. Jefferson comes over and basically says that Mr. Jefferson doesn't want any white people in his house.
He says no integrated parties in his house.
Okay, so we hit that. That's a pretty big racist thing to do, but I'm sure that Archie would do the same thing if it was his brother's going away party. So they can't have it at his house. So Edith says something along the lines of, well, if only we could have it here.
Oh, I wish there was some other place we could have the party.
Oh, yeah, like over here.
And Mrs. Jefferson takes that as an invite to have the party at her house and runs out the door before Edith could say anything about it.
Edith, you're a doll!
The big issue here is that Archie doesn't like having his neighbors over, let alone his ethnic neighbors over, his black neighbors over, if you will.
Trust that guy to put the kibosh on a party after promising to have one over there.
We continue on and cut to Mr. Jefferson, not George Jefferson, but Mr. Jefferson, the brother of Mr. Jefferson and the uncle to Lionel Jefferson, sitting down. You know, there's some cracks made by both Archie.
Yeah, well, they all depend on me down there, you know, and one of them's a colored guy, too.
And him.
What do you mean one of them's a colored guy, too? Don't tell me all these years you've been passing.
Together, because that's basically their relationship, is just cracking wise on each other the whole time. And then we get a random knock on the door.
Say, Jefferson, are you asking to come into my house?
And it is Mr. Jefferson, George Jefferson, that is. And he is refusing to come inside.
No, Bunker, I wouldn't come in there, not even if you got down on your hands and knees and sang Mammy.
Which is pretty funny. Archie starts to get wise and kind of coaxes him into coming inside.
You're in.
No, I ain't, I'm out. Don't turn your back on me.
Oh, there you are.
Once he's inside, there are a few quips between Archie and George Jefferson.
He's into the house. All duded up with a flower in his lapel there.
And then George makes a really nice speech about his brother and their relationship, and
Sometimes you can't always say the things that you really feel. You know, like how good it is to have somebody around to rap to.
also makes a few racist remarks towards Archie.
I thought it was a nice toast. I'm just sorry it had to take place in a honky house.
It's a pretty interesting episode all in all. George then basically leaves. We have a thing at the end that has a callback to something that happened in the beginning of the episode.
That's how much you know. See, that's not a carnation. That's a water lily.
And we end the episode as usual with the clap track. And that is the episode. So let's talk about it. Alright guys, so that was All in the Family. I hope you guys like this episode and the new way that we're doing things. Now in this episode we had some fun. We had George Jefferson making some cracks. We had Lionel coming over, which is always fun to see Lionel. But we got introduced to the one, the only George Jefferson before he moved on up. So having George there at the end kind of made it kind of nice because it's just his introduction. He's not a big character yet, and he is kind of just a newcomer. We've heard a lot about him, but we hadn't really ever seen him or heard him before. Now, when we were doing the yelling through the door thing, I thought, man, are they really not going to show George Jefferson yet? Are they just going to have him be that kind of Mr. Wilson
Howdy-ho, neighbor.
Well, if you needed help, why didn't you call me?
Thing where you kind of hear him or kind of see him, but you never fully get the whole face or the whole body? Is he just going to be the man who yells outside of the house? But no, they actually brought him in. We did get to see him, and it was pretty funny because, honestly, and I know this is kind of a not believed thing anymore, but I really do believe that anyone can be racist, including black people, Asian people, Middle Easterns, Asians, whoever. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, you can still be racist to another ethnicity, and that is true. If you don't believe it, sorry, it's pretty true. So yeah, Mr. Jefferson is actually really pretty racist, but at least it's funny, and it's more of a fun ribbing on each other instead of like a, you know, KKK white power type thing.
Stampeding cattle? That's not much of a crime. Through the Vatican?
Or in this case, a BLM black power type thing, or back in the day, it would be Black Panther black power type thing. So he's not really like full on like in the club racist. He's just you know, civilly racist. So he likes to poke the bear. So does Archie when it comes to racial stuff. So it's all in good fun in this episode. And I think that's the whole point of these episodes, is that, yeah, we need to be able to make fun of each other. And that's why I don't really believe that there's anything, that there's no jokes that can't be told. In this episode, there was really some things that were said, some things that were done that you couldn't do necessarily today, but that's just because everyone is so sensitive and so afraid to say anything that might offend somebody, even though it's all just a joke. So in that regard, having both of these men go at each other and kind of slap back on each other is really funny. The episode was also super enjoyable. There's a bunch of little jokes that Edith makes, like always. She always comes up with some dumb humor, which is kind of her character. She is the dingbat after all. And Michael comes up with his Michael-isms, which is the far left-leaning ideologies and thoughts that he provokes. And then, you know, we have our midliners, who is Gloria and Edith, who are two different spectrums on both sides, but they both lean pretty much in the middle. So all in all, this is a great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to watch the full series, there is a link down in the description below. It helps out the channel because it is an Amazon associate link. There's also a freebie that you can watch it on, and Amazon Prime, where you can watch it as well for free. And if you guys want to support the channel, of course, we have the Ko-Fi in the description down below. So with that being said, I do want to thank all of my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that little subscribe button.
Don't worry about it. You're still in good shape. All you got to do is just tap it in. Just tap it in now.
And I do want to thank you guys for getting this far in the video. I want to thank all of my subscribers, and we will see you next time. Peace.